Hi, you two. Welcome to Tuesday's English lesson. So, this is the first video lesson of this week because yesterday you had a very busy day getting used to using Teams, which you've done fabulously, and also making your very own soup. And I've seen some brilliant pictures of your soups, and I've read some fantastic evaluations of what they tasted like, what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy. So well done for getting all of that done yesterday. So today in our English, we're going to move on and we're going to do some writing linked into your soup making. So I want you to think about what a recipe is. We've talked about recipes. So can you remember what a recipe is? Let's have a look and see. So a recipe is a set of instructions for making something to eat or drink. And I know that lots of you follow recipes at home to make cakes and biscuits and buns and all kinds of delicious treats that you're always sending us pictures of and making us feel very jealous and hungry. So I know that lots of you are already used to following recipes, following instructions for making things to eat or drink. And actually, you've already written some instructions. Can you remember any of them? What have you already written sets of instructions about? Did you remember snow globes? So just before Christmas, we made snow globes to take home and we followed a set of instructions and then we wrote a set of instructions. And then more recently, well done. You wrote a recipe for your own marvellous medicine based on the story that we've been reading this half term, George's Marvellous Medicine. So you're already experts at writing instructions. So today's work and tomorrow's work, because this lesson is going to go over 2 days, should be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So let's have a look at what we're going to do. So this week, you're going to write the recipe for your soup. Okay, the children in school have been working in groups to make their soup, but if you've been at home, then you will have made that soup on your own or with your grown-up, or maybe even with your brothers and sisters. And isn't it a great week for soup? I'm just looking out of my window now and the snow is coming down. It's really cold. It's a fabulous week for soup. So you've already written your ingredients list and your equipment last week. So today we're going to start thinking about writing the method. So a method is how you're going to do something. That's what we mean by method. You're going to need to have your ingredients and your equipment list next to you because you're going to need to use that to help you write your recipe. It's a bit like when we did our George's Marvellous Medicine work and you wrote your own Marvellous Medicine. You need to make sure you're using the same ingredients that you thought of in the first place and not changing those, okay? So make sure that you've got that ingredient and equipment list next to you to help you with your recipe. Right, so let's just remind ourselves about what a method should include. And you should know lots of this already because you have written instructions. So we're just going back over some of the writing that we're already really familiar with. So let's have a look then. Method, there we go. There's our heading. Let's just pull it down so it's not floating. We don't want any floating letters, do we? So it's underlined nice and neatly. Let's have a look here. So this arrow is pointing to the word first. Can we remember what we call that? Well done. It is a time adverb. A time adverb helps to put our writing in an order or in a sequence, and that's really important when we're writing a method. Any method, whether it's for a recipe for something to eat or drink, or whether it's a set of instructions for playing a game, or a method, a set of instructions about how to put a shelf together. Okay, it's really important that we follow those instructions in order. So time adverbs help us to order our method or our instructions. Let's have a look here then. So this arrow is pointing to the words to ripe. And the instruction is next, chop the 2 ripe tomatoes into large chunks and place them in the pan. We should all know what we call those words. Well done. They are adjectives and they're separated by a comma. Okay, the commas in a list. Right, let's have a look at the third instruction. Sprinkle the peas gently into the pan. That first word is highlighted, sprinkle. What type of word is that? Well done. It is an imperative verb. So it's a verb, but we call it an imperative verb. It's telling you what you should or you must do. So if something is imperative, it's important, it's key. So that imperative verb is telling somebody what to do. Sprinkle the peas gently into the pan. And there's another word in there, actually, that I am just going to highlight. I'm going to change the colour of that word there. Let's see if we can change it. Oh, I can't change its colour on here. Let's have a look at that word gently. Let's highlight it instead. Oh, you can tell I've had a week in school, can't you? Goodness me. Let's try again. Gently. What type of word is gently? Sprinkle the peas gently into the pan. Well done. It's one of our adverbs, isn't it? It tells us how something is done. So the imperative verb is to sprinkle. How do we sprinkle the peas? We sprinkle them gently. And we learnt last week, didn't we, about adding that ly suffix and all of the rules that we need to apply. So I think this week will be a good opportunity to practice applying those spelling rules. So you might want to dig out some of that spag work from last week and have it with you to remind you about those spelling rules for adding the ly suffix. Okay, instruction number 4. Then thinly slice the carrot and add it to the mixture. And the word and is highlighted. What type of word is and? Well done. It's a conjunction. It's one of our joining words. Can join ideas or sentences together. Okay, so we've got words like and, because, so, then, when, while. Okay, again, look back on some of the work that you've done over the last few weeks, and we've talked about conjunctions, and you'll have some ideas. And the final instruction, instruction number 5, says add a pinch of salt and pepper to the vegetables. And the arrow's pointing to here, to the number. And that's because we've got numbered instructions, okay? Numbered instructions. So as well as using our time adverbs, usually when we're following a set of instructions, particularly when it's in a recipe or a method, those instructions would be numbered. And it's another way of making sure that we do things in the right order. Really important, okay? In a set of instructions. Fantastic. I'm sure you remembered lots of those. So what you're going to do today is you are going to begin your set of instructions for making your soup. Now, I know that some of you who I've spoken to, you didn't make a soup, you made something slightly different. Whatever you made at home, that's the set of instructions that you need to write, okay, this week. And for most of you, that is your soup. I'm going to remind you again about those dum-tums. Dum, date, underline, misalign, tums, title, underline, misalign, and then start, okay? So you don't need to print this off. In fact, I don't think we've uploaded it for you, this template for you to print off anyway, because you can just write straight onto your lined paper, okay? Straight onto your lined paper. My top tip would be, don't write all of your numbers at the very beginning, because you don't know how much space each of your instructions is going to take up. So don't write a new number until you're ready to then write the next instruction. Another thing that I might do actually as well is I might actually leave a line between my instructions, okay, just to really make my instructions easy to read, and so they're not all squished together. Okay, so think about the layout, and then you're going to think about your method. So what did you have to do to make your soup? Now, before you start writing, you might want to just do a quick plan, quick write down on a piece of paper to put the things in order that you did. So talk to your grown-up or talk to the person that you made your soup with. What did you do first? Did you start by washing your hands? I hope you did, because that's what we should always do if we're practicing good food hygiene, and that's really important when we're working with food. So that could be your first instruction. Then maybe you gathered all of your equipment. Perhaps that's your second instruction. Which of your vegetables, your ingredients did you prepare first? What did you do with it? How did you do it? Look back if you need to last week's lessons, so all of those are still available up on the website. Have a look back at last week's lessons when we were talking about vegetable soup and we looked at the vegetable soup recipe, and that might give you some ideas. Or go on to Google and Google some recipes on there. Have a look at the types of words that you need to be using. All right. Now, what we want you to do today is to get half of your method completed today. So we think that's going to be at least 5 instructions. There's going to be quite a lot of instructions in this for making your soup. There's quite a lot of things that you need to do. So we don't want you to do it all today. Don't rush and race. Get half of it done today, and then you're going to have some time tomorrow. So I'll come back to you tomorrow just to do a quick check-in, make sure that you're all okay. All right. And then you can carry on tomorrow. So there is no rush to get this finished today. Just on the screen now, there are some examples of some time adverbs, imperative verbs, adverbs, adjectives, and conjunctions that you might want to use in your recipe today. Okay, you might not want to, there's just some ideas there for you. All right, I'm pretty sure that because you're experts at writing instructions now, you're going to be fantastic at this. Right, so I'm going to leave you to it. You know what you're doing. All right, don't finish your instructions today, your method today. You've got 2 days to do this. So take your time, really concentrate on making sure that your instructions have got those time adverbs, imperative verbs, adverbs, adjectives, and conjunctions. Okay, right, well done, year 2, and I'll be back to talk to you again tomorrow. See you later.